And it's a great Tuesday, and it is, you've heard of Jekyll and Hyde, you've heard of Abbott and Costello. Well, now it's Chappy and Arnie. Chappy, good evening to you, buddy.
And back at you, bud. I'm excited to get talking about some fantasy baseball. It's great. It's fun stuff, isn't it?
I love how you led off your show tonight talking about something I had no knowledge of until about a week ago. I love it.
That's what we're all striving to do, right? Share stuff that others might have slipped through the cracks, right?
Yeah, I pick up on all these rookies and injuries in the middle
great.
of the night, but I don't ever hear about Chris Bryant, cutting down St. Louis. I love it. I love it.
Hey, that's a great thing. I think part of the issue with baseball these days is a lot of those natural rivals are diminished with the sport that we love, the fantasy sports. I often say I'm a National League Central fan, but it's fun to hate the Cardinals, right?
Sure. And after what was it Sunday, you had Hamels throwing like the gem of his life almost.
Yeah.
Only to be outdone, by his elder. Right? I mean, a 37-year-old outduels a 35-year-old. You love it. Only in baseball.
He didn't look 37. Wainwright certainly pitched, one of the games of the year so far for him. So if he continues that another couple starts, we'll be talking about picking him up, right, Arn?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And he's one of those that he just sort of lays out there on the waiver wire. Nobody talks about him, but what a game Sunday. I mean, and it wasn't chopped liver he's pitching against. He's pitching against a first-place team.
Yeah, but a streaky team, right? And a team that's shown that if you know how to pitch them, you can manipulate them, and that's what he did. A seasoned vet that he is, it's not a surprise.
So now, talking about your Cubbies, and then we'll start there. And I love how we do this when we get together; it just flows, Streaky is Chris Bryant, and you gotta love him, and then at times he's got to drive you nuts. Fantasy-wise, reality-wise, I mean, you put him in the lineup every day, but you really don't know what you're getting day in and day out with Chris Bryant, do you?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, you say the same thing about Rizzo. You could say the same thing about Contreras, Schwarber. I mean, that's the thing. They either all gel or they all don't. And I think, it's been my just perspective that when they're having fun, they tend to play better. And I think it seemed, and that's why I wanted to bring that up. It looks like they're having fun. So, I know that Brian has struggled. He's also been quite hot at times this year. So, you kind of have to take the good with the bad with Brian. 274 on the season, 13 homers, 36 RBIs, and 44 runs. I'd take that on my team.
Anytime. And I think that's the trick to fantasy. I guess in a great, perfect fantasy world, all of our players would go 2 for 5 every day, right? And that's just not going to happen. And so it's a give and take, a little patience. But your boy Baez, what a year he's having.
Well, and I think you know that I have been steadfast on him for about 5 years now, so I'm glad it's finally working out where he's consistently showing what he's capable of. Boy, I'd like to see him hit 300 for the year. I think he's capable of doing that, and you can get him to 30, 35 homers. That's an asset given where he plays on the field, right?
Right.
And he's only 26. He's only 26.
And where you draft him, he's playing where you draft him. He really is. He's that kind of player. I want to talk about a guy real quick with you. I added this kid 2 days ago, Garrett Cooper from Miami.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about him. I know you did as well. He is. So it's interesting. He's kind of. I know you talked about Craig Mish being on him and all that stuff. What I heard was the fact that this guy was the everyday I believe right fielder going into spring training, and he hurt his thumb, and that thumb injury really kind of affected him. So now he's healthy, right, and it's showing. So I'll tell you what, right now, I mean, these young Marlins, they're going to be a handful in a couple years, especially if they decide to move a Caleb Smith or one of those those pitchers to bring up some of these guys that we talk about, Zach Gallen, because he's certainly proven that he's capable down in AAA.
Cooper, 3 for 3 tonight. And he's sitting on my fantasy bench. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where it really pays to pay attention to how teams are doing. And I know that we both started really talking about it a lot, like the run differentials, the streaks within the streaks, stuff like that. If you catch these guys, I do a lot of the regression, the positive and negative regression. You catch these guys, a guy like Starling Marte, you look at his numbers, they're quite pedestrian, but if you break it down from a certain point, he's raking.
So, Chappy, when you get these rookies, say it's a Garrett Cooper, or let's even go up the echelon a little bit. Let's say we go over to Atlanta, okay, and we talk about an outfielder over there a little bit by the name of Mr. Riley. When you're getting these players, do you have a theory, philosophy on trading them? I mean, right now, can you imagine the value for Riley or even Cooper if he would hit the way he's hitting the last 5 games for the next week? But so what do you look at in a trade market for a player like that? Or do you not look to trade? Do you think, okay, they're just going to hit like this?
It's player to player, right? So I'm a big believer that Austin Riley is the rookie of the year, even over Soraka. I really think, I have him in my home league, and he is not someone who I would consider moving on from. That said, if you're talking about most other rookies, a lot of time you get these guys come up, they have so much, helium that you can really get asinine offers from them, right? My buddy in my home league, actually, he wanted Riley pretty badly. He asked me what I wanted for him. I said, start off, I want Anthony Rendon and Shohei Ohtani. Oh, and I also want Bo Bichette. I said to him, I said, now, I can build some other players around that, and a deal like that, it's really, whatever we need to make happen to make you feel okay about that. I said, but, to get a kid that young, 22 years old, I'd really need that rookie back in return, plus some top flight players. So, I told him I'd offer him a Marte or, another pretty good player in return. I said, but, in this league, it's a Fantrax league, so, having Ohtani as a pitcher when he's back and healthy, it's a dynasty league, and a hitter is a big benefit, right?
No doubt.
So, yeah, I asked the world, knowing he was going to be like, yeah, I can't do that. But why not ask? If someone comes to you with one of these rookies, ask high, because if they're desperate enough, you can get it, Just let's do it.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking, for example, let's say you were offered Rafael Devers for Riley.
Arnie, you're the best, man.
I did a little homework before I got on the phone with you. Okay.
Yeah, I love Devers, man. That's a tough call because he's young too, and he's gonna come front and center. I'd probably do that, man. I would probably do that, Arnie. And you know what? I don't say that very often. I mean, I really, I'd probably want to get a second player, and I'd probably offer a low ball from the 4th. But yeah, if someone come to me and they wanted Austin Riley that badly, he's a player I'd consider. Definitely.
What is Devers? About 23? Is that what Devers is?
Yeah. Hold on one second. I have it in front of me.
Because I know he came up. I think he came up as a 20-year-old.
Well, no, I talked about it on the show tonight. Just the youth movement. So he's on this list. I think he's 23. Devers is 22.6 years old.
Okay.
He's
So
the 4th youngest player in the National League or American League as of the beginning of the year.
So he's a year and a half older than Riley.
Right.
With 3 years of experience under his belt.
Exactly. And 7 stolen bases, Arnie.
And where did that come from?
Who the heck knows? But I'll take it. Hey, remember we were talking about buying him low a couple weeks back?
I remember. I got him low. Remember, I got him off a waiver wire in a league.
Yeah, I wasn't that fortunate. I'd like to have him, that's for sure.
Yeah, because he started out, remember, not hitting any power and not hitting any average either. And all of a sudden, the average kicked in, and then after that, the power followed that. So,
yeah.
Okay, another rookie I'm looking to trade, and I need some value, Chappy, and that's Lourdes Gurriel for Toronto, with second base, shortstop, outfield eligibility. I want to trade him, Chappy.
Yeah.
I want to take a chance on Jose Ramirez. Will you take Lourdes Gurriel for him?
I mean, if I had Jose Ramirez, I would want Lourdes Gurriel.
You'd make the trade.
But it depends on the scenario, right? If we're talking about a dynasty league, I'd say no.
Okay, fair enough.
It just depends because it really depends on, here we've talked about this. You're talking about a legacy, right? You're talking about a 25-year-old kid. We all know these guys from the Caribbean, they don't warm up until June. So you're talking about giving a kid up that you don't know his potential, and you know what Ramirez's potential is, but you also know what his downfalls are. So you might be giving up a 30-homer guy for a guy who, has lost his Austin Powers mojo,
Right. Risk and return. I mean, if you break down a baseball season into 6 months, okay, and this year we've already had 2. So we've had 8 months in the last year, 2018, 2019. Of those 8 months, how many of those months have been productive, good months for Jose Ramirez? 2?
Well, that's what I was going to say. A third to a quarter of them?
2 out of 8?
Yeah, but they were really good months.
Really good months, okay? I tell you, but a guy like that, is like Odor for Texas.
Yeah.
Now, Ramirez has a little more average than Odor, but aren't they a little bit cut from the same mold somewhat? And if you're,
Yeah, it gets to the point where is it worth the heartburn, right? I mean, you could sit there and you can love it when you get home runs, 4 or 5 home runs a week for a month straight, but what happens when they stop coming?
That's true.
And when they don't come for an extended period of time, it really kind of makes it hard to move on from. You've got a big draft investment in Jose Ramirez. You're talking about a guy that I just picked up off the scrap heap. You're seriously talking about that kind of draft potential. That's a huge kick in the groin, right? It's tough to swallow.
Oh man, that hurts just thinking about it. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of owners wouldn't want to do that just on principle alone.
Well, I've added him twice. I'll tell you what I've done. I've added him twice. kept him for 2 days each time. I think he's a collective 0 for 16. Okay.
Well, cut him then, Arnie.
Well, I did because you know how I am. Trash. Got it.
I hope he starts hitting again now.
Yeah. Now that the kiss of death is let me pick them up, and the kiss of success is let me drop them. That always seems to work. I want to ask you a question about the Phillies, Chappy. They're coming into tonight. They're a half a game ahead of Atlanta. They've lost 5 in a row, including the Dodgers' annihilation. I think they hit like 175 in L.A. over the weekend. I mean, that hurt. But are the Phillies a team in trouble, or are they a team that's getting ready to pick it up and run with it?
It's interesting. I'm not enamored with their pitching. So that makes it awful tough when you look across at your main rival there in Atlanta. I just see 2 teams going in different directions. And I don't think Philly's going down so much as sharp of a curve as Atlanta's going up. But I do think they're decreasing in, I guess, power rank or whatever you want to call it. Because I think Atlanta's the team to beat there. I mean, you look at what happens if they decide to just turn over this pitching to these young kids. I mean, you look at that staff for Atlanta, the guys that are bringing them down are the veterans.
Yeah. I mean, Foles